Okay, welcome back. Romford Film Festival, day 4, our last day, unfortunately. Would you be able to go down the line, introduce yourselves and your roles within your respective productions, please?
Hi, I'm J.J Vaughan. I'm the writer, director, and editor of the Kismet Test.
My name's Kashif Mahmood. I am, a supporting director, to Sholay.
Uh,
This one.
my name is Sophia Mahmood. I'm the director, editor, and producer of Sholay's 50th anniversary screen.
I'm A.D Cooper, and I was the director, script editor, and co-producer of Merry Christmas, Bill.
Okay, so first of all, I think congratulations are in the order. An incredibly fantastic, varied group of films. And it seems like a lot of you were wearing different hats during your productions a lot of the time. So how did all of you find sort of working on film, but also not just being able to focus on one specific role?
So I predominantly work in editing. So obviously writing and directing, sort of it goes from all 3 stages of production, doing 3 of those. So yeah, I really enjoy sort of honing in on those sort of different things, and I write with the edit in mind. And yeah, it's just fun to know exactly what I'm going to do in the edit when I'm writing and directing for the edit as well. I do everything for the edit. So
Cool.
Myself, to be honest with you, I just play a supporting role really more than anything else. The main person here is actually Sophia, and I'll let her explain what you've done in the movie.
I think being a producer, because I'm more into like editing and feel that it's something more that I enjoy more. So I think it gave me more exposure to like other roles, which was quite insightful. Yeah.
I think I'd been a judge on the script competition, which this is based on, so I'd read the material quite early on, and then I'd worked through, made the writer do another 3 drafts, and then helped with the co-producing, and then by the time I got to directing, I was kind of pretty much immersed in the project.
Okay, fair enough. And staying with you for a second. So 3 drafts. So how long did that sort of process take overall, and how did that sort of fill out sort of the schedule of the production?
I'm trying to remember now. The competition was announced sort of January last year, and we shot the 3rd week in April, so probably by about the end of February it was all done.
Okay, cool.
And the script went down from 11 pages to 7.
Okay, and again, amazing. So I think we have another question for everybody. Concepts, we can start right back at the beginning. Where did where did these ideas come from? What were the initial moments of inspiration? And how do you feel that they have changed since then, going from an idea in your head to something that we've seen on screen?
yeah. So the Kismet Test sort of started with this idea of this Mr. Beast did this video. Sounds like a really stupid inspiration, but he did this video, 2 people in one room for 100 days. And then I think you've got like 500k or something if you stayed in there the whole time. And it was just, I heard that was announced. I was like, this is so corporate. And eventually, I'd already written it by the time the video came out, but the video itself was just again so corporate. They didn't talk about how they were missing their family or anything like that. And I thought the idea of putting 2 people in a room and one of them's an android and they've got to figure out who that is, and that's the experiment, because I think it's just, that's testing your own humanity and using a human test subject in that regard. And then also the sort of the idea of creating an android and giving them some big sob story, I think is very inhumane, and that's the sort of thing I wanted to test with.
The Sholay 50th anniversary is a documentary, so it's not scripted as such. But this was just an opportunity that, I think me and Sophia both agree, it was just an opportunity that was given, which was very nostalgic in its essence, I guess, and one that I think Sophia just jumped on and thought, right, okay, I can do something with this, and thanks to Lumia as well, who held the event over here as well. It was a fantastic opportunity. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
Fair enough. I think we kind of touched on it with Merry Christmas Bill slightly, but did over those sort of script changes, did it change much the core other than becoming a small script?
The core didn't change, but I managed to sneak in a few gags of my own.
Fair enough.
Wouldn't it be funny if you said X, or wouldn't it be? But also the actors threw in quite a lot. The two men knew each other very well. The two scallywags. So they added all sorts of, like Wazzock was not in it, and we shot it in Dorset. So very particular that they're using Dorset accent, the very local accent, which we tried to maintain continuously. I just thought it was dull to have them London.
Yeah.
When there's scallywags everywhere, so why
Mhm.
not have them? We're in Dorset. Let's have it a Dorset-based scallywag.
I think Wazzock would look perfect on a t-shirt, by the way.
Yeah,
I feel like that's a good
it's
idea.
a very, very good word.
Another question for the two of you working on Sholay. Clearly, it's very obvious in that film that that film meant a lot to people across all age gaps. So what does it mean to the two of you, and what does it mean to have been able to add your own part onto the legacy of the film?
Do you want to start? For myself, it's very nostalgic anyway, because I grew up having watched that movie as a child with my family as well, when putting it on a VHS and everything, and then listening to people when it was made as well, and as we were making it, listening to what it meant to people. That was something that really sort of hit home for us. Like it meant so much. It wasn't just us that felt that way, but it was so many other people. And seeing the cinema, that people singing along to the songs in it and everything, it was just absolutely amazing. So for me personally, it was a very nostalgic sort of a time to go through, remembering my childhood to a certain extent. But then it was also something new for someone like Sophia, who's a lot younger. Didn't grow up with that as such, but being involved in the community in that way was a big thing. Yeah.
I think it was important to embrace culture as well, because I feel like with Indian cinema, it's not really portrayed very often in big cinemas.
And sort of kind of following on with that, what do you feel is the importance that I think it was definitely touched on in the documentary, but how do you feel the importance of not only of classic films of all sort of genres, especially Bollywood, being shown to audiences?
Do you know what? I think it's an amazing thing that Lumia is doing over here in having the Bollywood cinema event being held regularly, because there is a huge community that can open up and look at the culture of the Bollywood cinema, but it allows people to see that we're not actually that different in many aspects, that we still have those those areas that affect us all in our lives. It's the same sort of things, grief and love and all of those sort of things. So it's like especially with these masala movies that have got so much of that in common, it does kind of hold a lot of importance in terms of bringing people together.
Sure. I think another question for Kismet Test, if that's okay. The design of the room, I'm assuming that was a set, right? And what was sort of how did you go through the design process to build that sort of set and make it feel authentic, or at least it could be something from like a game show?
So, it's retrofuturism was a big thing. I love Severance and Fallout, and I think it's
too.
Yeah, that's great. But I really think using that is kind of that it gets you into that thing of suspending you in time in a way. It doesn't really. I mean, obviously there's CRTs and old technology in that regard, but it makes it feel like we don't know what kind of year it's set, and I love the sort of 60s and brutalist architecture and stuff like that, and I think building a world around that, it kind of builds this kind of bleak future, this black and white future, because we always use the black and white to portray the past, but I think the future is bleak, it's depressing, and that's the future of Kismet anyway, and I think that's the kind of thing I wanted to portray.
I've got to say, it's an absolutely amazing concept that you put in, and it's so relevant to I guess what's happening in the industry as well with AI and all of that, and the fact that you've got creativity being challenged because you can't tell the difference between what is real and what is not. Absolutely amazing concept. So thank you.
It was an amazing film. And I think another general question, now that you've seen your films on the big screen, what are we feeling? How do we feel now that you've sort of come away from your projects and been able to see them in a space such as this?
I don't know which I've put the Kismet Test on the big screen a few times, and this is probably the dumbest answer ever, but it's the first few times I noticed we had some dead pixels on the screen, and so I went about fixing those, and then eventually we had an IMAX screening, funny enough, a few months ago, and I noticed even more dead pixels because the dead pixels were bigger, but now they're all gone. But I love hearing our sound mix on in a screen like this, because it's like you hear all the sort of surround sound, and that's I really love doing sound mixing in the edit. I love like slowing down stuff and putting them backwards and doing a load of wacky things. So I love hearing the effort and the sort of higher and lower frequencies that you sort of miss out on if you were to just watch it at home or on a speaker system that isn't as good. And that's the main thing that I think really sticks out. And of course, just seeing it bigger is better, of course, as well.
Always. That was a sort of do you think you can answer the question as well, sorry?
Which question was that?
Now that you've seen the film on the big screen, how are we feeling?
It's just wonderful to see it on a big screen. I mean, I can only say for myself that
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
it's just
It was good to see like the attention to detail on the bigger screen as well, because you don't really get that at home.
I have seen it once on the big screen, but officially that was the world premiere.
Congratulations.
So, Romford, you took it.
As we always do.
Always. The best things happened in Romford. Always.
premiere for Sholay as well.
I think it's time to open up the floor to a few questions. So if there's anybody that has any questions, you can go right down the front already. Nice.
What's the best bit of bribery you did to help your film along?
Ooh.
I'm taking the fifth.
It's always it's always cake.
I have a question for AD on Merry Christmas Bill. Everyone hates annoying cold callers and they say write what you know. What's your favourite way of dealing with them?
Well, I got scammed the other day, and that was quite fun. Once I'd worked out the scam, I kind of scammed them back.
Tell us more.
No,
Please
it's a
do.
long story.
Aw. I think there was another hand up the back. Ooh. It's a weird ginger man at the guns.
Hello, A.D Cooper. I interview you most years you come, and I always ask you the same question, but I always like the question. You always make cake for your cast and crew each year. What was this year's cake?
I think it was banana.
How come we didn't get any?
It was a year ago. You wouldn't like it.
Hello.
Probably out of date.
Duncan from Romford. To the lady that directed the Christmas film, is the lady that played the old lady that made the mince pies, is she gracing the Lumiere with her presence today? Because
She's not, I'm afraid, because she was 83 when she did that, and she's just done a one-woman show at the White Bear Theatre in London, and is now in a 2-week run of a 75-minute show. She's having a bit of a rest now.
thank you, because on my bus this morning coming here, there was a lady, the deadest bit of that lady. Thank you very much. Thank you.
She used to, if you remember Brushstrokes, that was one of her most famous roles.
Ah,
Do you remember
thank you.
Brushstrokes?
Alright, yeah.
Anyone else?
Anyone else?
Oh, It would make me confident.
Get your steps.
Run.
Get your steps in.
I think he gets enough steps
Just
in.
thinking about, you were talking about the Christmas short, and you said, I'm just thinking, what did you previously look at, looking about seeing the film on the big screen and how much difference it would be? I don't know what sort of size screen prior to that would you have seen this film on?
Much the same. Much so. We had a cast and crew screening, so much the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think that. Well, not.
Oh. Go on, Kevin.
I have a question for the director of Merry Christmas, Bill.
Questions?
So obviously, like, you're well known for like making cakes each year.
Yeah.
If money wasn't an object, which cake would you like to make and why?
Ooh, wow. The problem is I don't actually like cake that much. I like making cake, but I don't have a sweet tooth. So I could make you I quite like making cakes that look like things like castles or crowns or whatever. That's quite fun. But actually I don't actually like cake myself, so I always make it for other people.
Fair enough.
How have we got down Cake Land?
I don't know. The Romford Cake Festival, that's what's next. Okay, one more question from me, and then I think I have to call time. What's next for all of you? Where future plans, future endeavours, and hopefully, fingers crossed, maybe screening them here next year?
I'm doing another short film next. Not sci-fi, unfortunately, but it's it's a true story about a guy who I know whose bike got stolen, and he found it on Facebook Marketplace and stole it back. So yeah, that's what my next short film is.
Yeah.
I have got a lot of plans actually. Sophia's doing her own thing with a project that she's working on.
Okay.
Myself, I've literally started off a new community interest company called Divergent Cinema.
Okay.
It's the website's divergentcinema.co.uk. Plug that now.
Plug in.
First plug. But it's designed to help people with neurodivergencies to produce films and to have them shown at a film festival, which I'm hoping to partner up with Lumiere to do, and it will help them network as well. So it's basically just giving people with neurodivergencies a way of actually trying to bring their skills to the big screen.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, I just have a short film that's going to be coming out soon, in September hopefully, which is going to be called Violet and Velvet.
Okay.
It's inspired by the TV series Bridgerton.
Okay.
Yes.
Sounds amazing.
So I'm in post-production on a women's sport feature documentary.
Okay, cool.
Somewhat delayed while we work out the archive costs, which are eye-watering. So if I want to borrow Getty BBC footage, it's £10,000 a minute.
A minute?
Mm.
Oh, that's rough.
Rough. So we're negotiating.
Fair enough.
So that'll be in post quite a while yet.
Okay, fair enough. I think that's all we have time for. We get one more round of applause for everybody on stage right now. Thank you all so much.